internet's just spinning right now.
Yeah, it takes a minute. Do your microphones work down there?
Perfect. All right. All right. All right, let's call the meeting to order at 7:04 p.m. This is the DDA, Almont DDA meeting, October 23rd, 2024. So everybody, let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, can we get a roll call?
Yep. Krista Booth. Present. Steve Schneider.
Present.
Holly Miller.
Present.
Melissa Schneider.
Present.
Ashlyn Glasser.
Present.
Andy Rose.
Present. Any communications? No. All right. This is the time for our first public comment on a agenda item. Anybody? Nope. All right. So we need an approval motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Moving forward, we need an approval minutes from the October 2nd meeting that's attached in your packet.
A little bit of editing, so.
Hit us with it, Steve.
Yeah, but
Please do.
legal stuff. Sorry, Melissa. It's a tough job. So let's see. Approval of bills payable under that particular item, line 5. It begins with discuss, continue the DDA's business relationship. Probably you want to say discuss continuing the DDA's business relationship. I think. Next, treasurer's report. So, as to that, we have indications. M. Schneider moved, Glasser supported, and don't say anything else. So I think it needs to say move, supported to approve.
We've never said that in the past, so you want me to start changing it now?
Well, it needs to say, yes, from a legal standpoint, why was never caught before, got me.
So how would you like it to be read?
So you want to say Schneider moved to approve
Yes,
and then Glasser supported?
right. And the same with be below the August check reimbursement. Yeah, it needs to say what you're moving for. I mean, and this is not to be picky, but you're making a legal record, so if anything ever comes up, it's precise. Okay, then, let's see. The downtown holiday decorating, line 1. Yeah, so downtown, this is under F, downtown holiday decorating, Director Edwards asked the board if they would like change. So
Changes,
like
okay.
it changed or a change or
Mhm.
just so it's English. And then line 5 of F, the same, that same heading, American Tree, and it says and in attendance. I presume that you would want to say who was in attendance, referring to Connie.
It does before
It
that,
does
the line
before that.
above.
It said ask Miss Connie. So I would
Owner
change
of
it
American
to
Tree.
in it, just you remove and, just do owner of America Tree in attendance. So remove and.
Lastly, the under G, Heritage Festival Entertainment tent sponsor, a motion made to reduce, motion made by, there's no support, so it's not
There was no
legal.
support.
Pardon?
There was no support.
Oh, I'm sure I supported it.
Nobody supported.
So nobody supported, so then it didn't pass.
Right, well, for me to do it, someone would have had to support it.
I looked back on the tape. There was nobody that supported it. That's why I didn't put anything. So I don't know if we need to reissue that. Or
Add
we-
it to-
We can add it to tonight's thing.
Tonight's agenda then.
So do we strike that from G or just say it's got to be moved to this agenda?
So, what do you want to do with this? I mean, I presume that the board wants to stick with the resolution that was
Right.
decided upon last time. So we need to stick it on the agenda again,
Right,
so it can actually.
just revote it.
I thought it was supported, but I mean, you can add it this evening.
Right, let's just add it.
Okay.
So, yeah, we can address it again, just to make it legal. I'm done. Move to approve minutes.
I will support.
Okay, we have a motion, we have support. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Where are we moving the,
We could move it under 5, under finance, under fountain cover. Does that work?
okay. All right, now we're gonna need a motion to approve the bills payable.
So the first item on there, on the bills payable, is what we tabled at our last meeting?
We have to pay it,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, we'll discuss that in closed
Yeah.
session, but
But we have
it's,
to pay it.
it's
Okay.
already been part of the contract,
Okay.
whatever direction we decide to go, so.
I'll make a motion, pay the bills.
Motion and support. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Fine.
Opposed? All right, that's approved. Treasurer's report, September revenue and expenditures, we're going to need a motion to approve for those.
I'll make a motion to approve September's revenue and expenditure report.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Moving forward, September check disbursement.
I just have one question. The Straight 7 Music LLC, what is that exactly?
Sunset Boulevard.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve September's check disbursement.
All right, Ashley Glasser, second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Cut some checks. All right, reports. DPW report, which is attached. I mean, Brian's not here to chat through, but do you have any comments on Brian's stuff at all?
not any different than usual. They are amazing to work with, and they always go above and beyond, and got our new banners up pretty much as soon as Heritage Fest wrapped up. So everything is going great on that front.
All right, do you want to touch on your director's report?
One thing I didn't list in here, but I did bring to note, Connie got back to me on decorating our businesses downtown. She's going to get a more detailed cost she would need. It obviously goes by square foot, and every building's going to be different. But she believes that it would be at least $4,000 per building. So that's something we need to take into account when we do our budget for next year if we would like to move forward with the Christmas light facade grant. It's good information, obviously, to have. Also, American Tree did the light on the tree orange for homecoming, which looks great if anyone noticed it.
It'll stay on through Halloween, right?
Mm-hmm. My summary is in here. I met with the events committee. We started going through Small Business Saturday and Holly Day. We're going to discuss Holly Day later on in the agenda, as well as Small Business Saturday. Merchant Trick or Treat is set and ready to go. The things I ordered to hand out will be here tomorrow or Friday. I'm signed up for the annual MDA conference, which is November 6th through 8th in Ann Arbor, so I will be out of the office. I've been working with the village manager and the police chief on parking enforcement downtown. They've been on it, so I'm appreciative for that. I've had calls from a couple of businesses who are looking to move to downtown Almont. So we've been trying to find them space. Thankfully, that's an amazing problem to have. I'm also in talks with a owner of some parking lots in town. The village we got appraisals on the lots. The village is getting appraisals as well to kind of have as much information behind us when we go to the table, but the owner is open to negotiations, so we're going to see where that takes us. The painter who painted our clock is willing to give us a quote on refinishing our benches. I also pulled some quotes for new benches. I'm going to sit down with the finance committee, hopefully, definitely before our November meeting. However, the benches that are currently there should probably stay in place through the winter since the salt and snow are going to deteriorate them. I would rather the old ones weather this winter. We have 3 ribbon cuttings coming up. I have given you all the information on that. We have Century 21 Professionals and Simple Home Lending. So that's what it is, Simple. Right? On November 1st, and then we have Mother Earth on November 20th. I've also worked with 3 businesses, actually technically 4. I didn't list one of them in here. On facade grants, 2 of those are in your packet this month. The other 2 should be in November's. We're going to talk about the fountain cover later on. And yeah, I think everything else we're going to cover in other items on our agenda. So if you have any questions on anything, feel free to ask.
Yeah, pretty descriptive for me. Anybody?
Nope.
All right.
Oh, also, if you want to see the giant rules and etiquette sign for the social district, it's in my office. It is 3 feet tall. And so Brian and I are gonna figure out where to put that in Fountain Park, but it looks nice and it will help
Perfect, thank you.
make people aware.
All right, let's move on to new business then. Under finance, the facade grant application for Brunch at Joe's. They're looking for $1,000.
I'll make a motion to approve the facade grant application for 28 North Main in the amount of $1,000.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, make that one happen. The second facade grant for Mother Earth, that is also located in there. They're looking for $1,500.
I will make a motion to approve the facade grant application for 137 North Main in the amount of $1,500.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right, next one. We're handing out facade grants like crazy. Oh, no, yeah, sorry, no. American Tree Decorating. They submitted their quote for the annual holiday decorating. Included is also last year's quote for comparison.
I'll make a motion to approve American Tree's quote for downtown holiday decorating.
Support.
All right. Motion support. Any further discussion on it? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, moving on to the fountain cover. This is an ongoing conversation.
And unfortunately, I do not have the new quote from Legacy. I spent probably an hour in their office talking to them a couple of weeks ago, and they thought that they could just cut a single piece. After they went back to their design guy, they said there's no way that one piece would hold. It would be too flimsy in the center. So I think we're just back to PVC and shrink wrap. So that's something that we're going to have to get together and do
Yeah, I can move forward on it. I just
soon. Yeah.
didn't want to do it if that was an option.
They think that it would have to be multiple, at least 2 pieces welded together, and there would have to be some kind of frame inside to hold it up, basically, in case it got weighed down. So I think we already have the hooks in around the fountain to hook it in. So I think if we want to try the PVC and shrink wrap this year, and then know where we're going, like next year.
Well, I mean, if we end up making it out of PVC and it works, I think we're just good.
Correct. Yeah.
So, all right, I'll get moving on that if that's our direction. I don't think
Because
so.
it will be,
Yeah, it should be underneath that kind of money.
yeah.
Other than whatever the shrink wrap costs, but just for PVC, it's not going to be crazy. Okay. All right, 5 is the one we added, so we need a remotion for the Heritage Fest tent sponsor reduction. If you go back to the meeting minutes from last month, there's a description to it. So last month, Melissa made this initial motion if she wants to, that's fine. And that was reduce the cost from $3,000 to $2,500 for routes for the sponsorship. Because again, with the moving of the tent, Senior Victor's ended up benefiting from that area more.
So, is that formality, Melissa wants to make motion again, and just looking for
Yeah,
somebody to
I'll make
support.
the motion to reduce Roots cost to sponsor the entertainment tent to 2,500.
Support.
All right, we have a motion and a support. All in favor, or further discussion? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Now it's official. Thank you, Steve, for keeping us honest.
No problem.
All right, executive. Now we're going on to the DDA appointments. We have the application for Mr. Scott White. We already heard from you last time, and we've had the application before. Did you want to say anything else?
If you would like to re-say anything else?
No, you did a good job before, so I'm just giving you that opportunity because we'll give Charlie and the other applicant their time too. So if people reviewed it, heard what he had to say, want to make a motion to appoint, then we need a motion.
They actually, it would be, I think, a motion to
Actually-
nominate,
Nominate,
because then the village president has to
correct.
actually do the.
Sorry, we have to
appointing.
do a motion to
Yeah.
nominate.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to nominate Scott White for DDA board appointment.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Abstain.
Aye. All right, Steve had us abstain because he's appointing.
Because, yeah, I do that because I have to do the appointing if I appoint.
The next village council meeting?
November 6th, the day after that unimportant November 5th date.
So would that be on the agenda for then?
2 of them will.
Okay, yeah. All right. The next one up is application for board appointment Charlie Kroll. Charlie, did you want to come up and say anything? Here, come on up here if you are.
I really don't have anything to say. I just applied as I wanted to. I'd love to be on the board to help out and see what I can do to help this community. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
How many years have you been volunteering, Charlie?
With the festival a couple times, but I've been in the community since '68, since I was a kid. I was, since I was born. I was a wrestling coach at the high school for like 14, 15 years. I've just been around here a lot. I know a lot of people, and I just feel we all should take a turn to help out in our community.
See, there's your speech.
Right.
There you go.
That was good.
I just had coaching.
So at this point in time, we just need a motion to recommend him for appointment.
I'll make a motion to recommend Charlie Kroll for appointment to the DDA by village council president.
Any further discussion? I want to say that you were a huge help with the car show, so thank you for everything you did
So
this year.
much.
So, as Holly said, you smoothed over a lot of people and it made the process work well. And I didn't just hear that from them; I heard that from a lot of the participants. So, thank you.
And your wife was incredible help too, so
Correct.
I won't let that go overlooked. She was
Correct.
amazing.
So we have a motion, we have a support. Any other further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
So one abstain, rest are ayes. Same thing, we'll have to put you for appointment at that meeting, okay? All right,
Yeah, Scott and Charlie, you'll be on Village Council's agenda for November 6th for appointment. So just so you know, it's at
And is-
7:30.
and as long as you're appointed in after that, they'll have to swear you in.
They'll swear you in, yes.
Kim will have to do it, okay? The third one is Mr. Steve Snyder. You gonna come up and give a speech, sir?
Aw.
Now, I am gonna declare this, we can't, he is still our village council president. So anything we do now would not be going for November 6th. We would have to do it for a later date. So just so people are aware with it.
You have 3
Obviously,
minutes.
Huh?
You have 3
obviously
minutes.
would not be nominating myself unless I'm ready to be arrested. So Like, thinking back about 20 years or so, I began advocating for the DDA's meetings to be on television, so to speak, like the village council meetings were, and taking the position that hardly anybody in the community even knew there was a DDA, or certainly didn't know what was happening at DDA meetings. And I kept emphasizing, you need visibility. Well, that just didn't happen. And so nobody knew DDA from hole in the ground, so to speak. And now everybody knows because you've accomplished so much and done such a great job. So it's kind of ironic to me when I'm thinking back of how DDA was barely existing, and then gradually through the years became more and more significant. And with this new director or new board has accomplished a great deal. I had envisioned from the get-go when I decided it was time to pass the torch as far as being president and stepping down from council, that I would like to continue on the DDA board, one, for the same reason I just stated, because I think it's an extremely important governing body and has it can have, which we've demonstrated, such an impact on the community. So I believe in public service. I've devoted almost 30 years of my life to public service. And to the extent that I can continue to contribute, I would certainly like to do that. And in my mind, I had always envisioned that it would be helpful to still have me on the board, because there's going to be a transition. Dynamics change somewhat. The president's seat will be taken by some very tall guy. And so, and however that's going to work, you'll see. I actually expect that it will be an overall plus. I don't think it's going to be antagonistic, but there's been some banging of elbows together. And so I was hoping to be on the board. So to whatever extent that I can help smooth over any wrinkles or, concerns or banging of heads, whatever it might be, that I could help with that. And I did misspeak, by the way. I wanted to say in all candor, I misspoke in my application. I've been on village council for 29 years. However, being on planning commission and DDA, it's only been 26 years. I did not sit on either one of those boards until I became president. So I'm hoping to be able to continue to contribute. And so that's why I'm submitting this application. I think I can. I bring a lot of historical perspective, obviously. And in 1883, the DDA did such and such. So it's my application. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
I will make a motion to recommend appointment of Mr. Steve Schneider to the DDA board after his presidency by the new village council president.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? I would.
Well, I'm going to abstain since.
You
my
have
lady-
to abstain,
Yes.
yeah. And I would say Steve and I, since I got on here, we have butted heads quite a few times, and we still do. So,
Yeah.
but at the end, it's still very cordial, and we still move
Yes,
forward. So
yeah.
I do enjoy that.
Just
Steve.
doing our jobs.
So to that point, we have a motion, we have a support. Any other further discussion? All in favor other than two abstains? Abstain.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. You have to make sure you record my aye for numbers. All right.
you.
So again, that one won't go up until later November.
Second meeting in November.
Correct.
Which is the 19th, is that correct? I can look at my
I
calendar
believe so.
later.
I think it
Be
is.
the third Tuesday of the month.
All right. Moving on to the events committee, small business Saturday budget. You want to talk through that?
So we met Monday at my office. We want to allocate $350 to doing the giveaway basket again. Well, not all $350 for the basket, obviously. $250 to purchase items for the basket from local businesses, which I think is an increase from last year, but we did it intentionally because we have 2 new businesses we can buy stuff from. And then $100 for, we're going to order signs for the sandwich boards. Actually, I think Angela might already have done that. And then to order the punch cards again. and stamps or something for them.
I'm assuming the signs will be reusable year after year.
Correct. And I ordered several of them at once, so they're significantly cheaper and they're double-sided. So Merchant Trick or Treat is on one side and Small Business Saturday is on the other. And then for Holiday, there's Holiday on one side and the Santa is here sign on the other. So we can use two of them in different locations.
I'll make a motion to approve a budget of $350 for Small Business Saturday.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Any nays? All right,
Aye, sorry.
approved. All right. Now we're going into discussion, merchant trick or treat. Everything else,
Is on Halloween at 5 o'clock. The DDA is going to have a table in the Pocket Park if anyone would like to join me. I have stuff to pass out. I've also offered our table for businesses outside the Central Business District if they would like to pass out candy or whatever, or just give it to me in a bowl and I'll pass it out if they can't be down there.
I could be there to man the table. My kids are out doing their own thing now. They're at that age, so.
But yeah, I have stuff to set it up. I have all the stuff either here or coming, and we're ready to go.
The siren is, the request for the siren to go off and all that is done. It is now.
Check with Chief Smith.
Okay.
So we want the siren to go off at 5.
I think we did it at 5 to start it. And I think we did, I don't know if we did one to end it, but we did one to start it officially.
Then they do it when they
Yeah,
end,
because they
right?
usually
think
do
they
it
do
at
it-
6
We'll
and
do it at
8.
6.
6,
for
and then do they do it at 8?
residential.
For the trick-or-treaters and then,
At 8?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Ask Chief Smith.
Ribbon cuttings, we already kind of go over the ones that are coming up on those, correct?
Yep, I already touched on that in my director's report, and I sent you all an email, and I also have it in physical copies for you. So we have 3 next month.
I would say I was going to add that I met with the owner of Mother Earth. She's a fantastic lady. This is her 3rd or 4th store, originally from Almont. Never really intended to open a store in Almont. Told me that she's seen all the change the last few years and how things are booming, and she wanted to come back. So if it wasn't for the difference, she had no intention of ever being in Almont again. She was happy to leave years ago. So it was good to see. It was a good conversation. Very successful already. So very positive, which is nice.
And they're
So,
very excited to be here, which is
extremely.
what we want.
Small Business Saturday.
Yeah, we kind of already touched on that too. We're gonna do the punch cards again. And was there anything else we talked about for that? I don't think so.
We brainstormed on a couple of things, but
Yeah.
it seems like that's what a lot of other downtowns do, and everyone seems to like it. So
How many punches did we may have them do last year?
that is what we talked about
5.
doing differently, maybe. And
Yeah, but-
still 5, but like one has to be from a restaurant, one has to be from retail, and what was the other thing? I can't remember now.
Service-based or?
We talked about doing that for next year. That's what it was. Because none of the service-based places are open on Saturday typically, but if we could try to include them next year, maybe. I think it's a little too short notice to do it
And
this
if
year.
it's just like get an insurance quote.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have ideas for next year. The event page is active on Facebook for that, for Merchant Trick or Treat, for the ribbon cuttings, and for Holiday. And the Holiday Parade forums are live. So.
Is that all a holiday? Do you want to go into holiday?
Yeah, Holiday, we have a lot to talk about.
All right, go ahead.
So as we were talking about things to do differently or things to add for this year. The idea of an entertainment tent got brought up. Obviously, that would be a substantial amount of money right on the heels of Heritage Fest. So a couple facets to that. Mikey's said that they would be willing to do the beer portion of it. But we would need to pay for a tent, heaters, entertainment. The plus side of having a tent with heaters there is we could have kids' activities like a craft, face painter, a balloon artist, whatever, during the day before the parade. Obviously, the cons are cost. Jim and Aaron also said that if we do not do the tent, we can use their back room for a kids' activity that we want to do. So we need to discuss if that's even something that we want to look into this year. Also, what comes along with that is sponsorship. I am hesitant to ask our businesses to sponsor that kind of money right after Heritage Fest. If we decide that this is something we want to pursue, if we choose not to pursue it this year, next year I would like to offer the holiday sponsorship with the Heritage so they can see everything that's coming up and make a informed decision on what we're going to be asking of them. Or like we've been talking about, do a yearly sponsorship for the businesses and then they're included in everything. So I have some prices. I don't have the tent price because they have not got back to me yet. I do have, they will be sending me a quote. They just didn't get it to me before our meeting today. I have a quote from Kevin Wolf, who's played at Mikey's several times, for 4 hours. He's $2,700, but he brings his own stage and production. So that's, when we look at what we paid for Heritage Fest bands, not including stage or production, that's a deal.
Music is he? Is it country or rock or
he's
mix?
Country.
Okay.
But I'll be honest, I haven't been there when he's played before. I just have.
You said he does his own stage and sound.
Mm-hmm. And lighting. I would get a smaller tent and not as many tables and chairs, so I think we could safely say we could cut that close to in half, and it's winter, so it's not peak season, so the prices would be lower anyways.
Does it make a difference if it's just a one-day rental too versus? Does that make a difference in price?
Yeah, and if it's going to be in a parking lot, they wouldn't have as many restrictions as to when they can set it up and take it down, which is kind of why we had an issue with Heritage. But we would also need, and I think we may need these anyways, but porta potty rentals for holiday. Holly suggested we have one at parade lineup. While I'm on that tangent, I did get permission from the school to use their parking lot for lineup again. I was also given 2 children's contact information to ride with Santa and light the tree. So if we did, we're probably going to need 1 porta potty anyways for down at the high school. If we had a tent, we would also incur the cost of a few porta potties downtown. And then if we had the tent, and even if we don't have the tent, I would like to do some kind of kids, either craft or face paint or balloon artist.
Haven't we had a
whatever.
craft in the past?
It's usually, is the Historical Society still
Historical
gonna be doing
Society
it?
does a craft and a letter to Santa.
Okay.
I got a quote from Sparkles the Clown, who we use for Heritage Fest, And she was, for 3 people, for 3 hours, $1,150. She would have 1 glitter tattoo artist, 1 balloon artist, and 1 face painter. So whether we decide to go with the tent or we take Jim and Aaron up on their offer to use Mikey's back room, I think that's a good bang for our buck, and it would keep the kids in kind of the same vicinity for 3 different activities.
So I think, listen to this, a lot of it hinges on total cost. We're gonna need to know what the tent is before you move forward.
I think this is something that like maybe for next year we consider, but for this year, it seems like a lot of last minute planning to try to do this. And how does that, with a social district, with the street being closed, how is that affecting, like, where are people able to go? Do we need to go to village council to get permission to drink across the street? Because it's M53 is going to be closed down, and then we're going to have something in the back. Does that affect it if they have a tent set up back there?
It wouldn't affect the social district to have a tent back there. However, I have to get clarification from liquor control because 53 is technically shut down, but with the parade, there is vehicular traffic
Okay.
technically. So, it's not going to be
People
like,
won't
can't be like
crossing
Heritage
the
Fest.
road during the road closure.
No,
The
I'm
road's
just saying,
only
can they
to the
close,
parade,
can they
so-
cross like West and East St. Clair?
I'm going to ask for East St. Clair to be shut down for the cornhole tournament. That's also something I need, or next up on the thing. But yeah, they would be able to cross East St. Clair technically while it's closed. They just, I don't see how anyone would be able to cross 53 because we will still have traffic.
Okay, but if they could still cross to get, like, you know how people are always trying to find a spot, like,
Yeah.
to see the parade. So if they have more space further down on 53, but not going across the road, at least they have that. I just, as far as the whole adding an entertainment tent, our budget was like 3,500 for holiday parade or something like that, maybe $4,000.
Yeah, we actually reduced it this year because we used significantly less last year. We reduced it to 1,750.
Yeah, so I would like to see if we want to do this, then next budget year, we would have to increase this to like $7,000 or something like that. It sounds like, at least, if we wanted to do that. And that, I just don't want to, that's like 600% increase from what we budgeted. I don't want to do that. It doesn't, at least we can plan for it next year, but it is a nice idea to have, if we can expand the holiday parade and have there be heated things, like, that's always a plus. But I think that putting it together this late in the year on the back of Heritage Festival and not having the extra money in our budget, I would like to at least.
Say, I'm on that wavelength too. I think if we're going to do it, I think it needs to benefit all the businesses down there. And as much as I appreciate Jim and Aaron, I think we need to figure out how to work it with the totality of the social district for that side of the road. So I think it needs to be more open in that regard. I mean, have the heated tent, stuff for kids, maybe not necessarily serve out of there because they will have kids in there. But if people are walking around, that's one thing. And then later on having a concert that night. But again, on top of it, we don't even know the tent costs. I think we got to get all the costs together first to find out what this is going to run. I think it's a great idea, but I think per what Melissa said, I think it's just a timing thing.
Can you ask Sparkles what it would cost for face paint and balloons only? Also, because glitter tattoos in winter, and there's nowhere to put glitter tattoos on a child at that point. You know what I'm saying? So ask her what she would do just for the 2 if we're going to do something for the kids. Because I don't think we need glitter tattoos. I just thought about that. It'd be great in the summer, but.
The other thing that as far as the lineup, I know last year was kind of, it was a trial for
Mhm.
us. Would we be able to get more police officers, patrol cars across, like, closing
Outside
off
the high school?
entrances? Yeah, okay.
Right, so does anybody want to make a motion on the Holiday Light Festival expansion or just table that for later? Just table it. Okay. But yeah, I would agree on the police effort for up there. That would be hugely helpful.
There was
'cause
only,
know-
I think there was only one police officer last year.
And
We
he had
just
to keep
need, but we
going.
can use more barricades.
Mhm.
It's just that parents were like trying to drop their kids off and they were coming in all different directions. Someone like almost ran over our golf cart with their car, like they were driving on the
They were like
sidewalk.
halfway on the sidewalk,
Yeah.
right in front of the school.
Yeah, so if we could get a few more officers, that would be nice.
All right, anything more on that for now?
Cornhole tournament, I believe Ashlyn is gonna see if Blake wants to.
He said he would do it.
He said he would?
He was just wondering, like, do we want to do like a 10 above it in case it's like
No,
snowing?
last year we did it
or-
in East St. Clair and we had
Oh
fire
yeah,
pits,
I
and
wasn't
it
there.
was-
Yeah.
It was great weather, but obviously.
Yeah, he
it's-
said he would do it.
Okay.
Just, give him the deets.
Yeah, it was on East St. Clair. We had a fire pit. We had.
Yeah,
it was all
I
there.
forgot. I wasn't here for that.
Okay.
The last thing I need is, I need to submit the road closure times for MDOT. I have it filled out just as our usual, 5:30 to 8. Do we want to try to?
Did they shut down at 5:30? Oh,
We had them lining up earlier
Oh, yeah.
at the school, but yeah,
Yeah.
shutdown wasn't.
I
until
didn't realize it
5:30.
was that early.
Yeah, because
Okay.
really the parade didn't start hitting Van Dyke till almost 6 o'clock.
I thought it was
about 2
7.
hours.
At 7?
I thought it started at 7 last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
The parade starts at 7. Road
Okay.
closure starts, the permit starts at 5:30. They have never shut it down until,
Right before.
Right
Right.
before,
Right.
yeah.
I would
before.
like to ask for an extension just because we have so many more floats now. And that way we don't have to be quite so rush to get it reopened at 8, just even 8:30, like just to give us a little buffer.
Yeah.
so.
What if a car breaks down?
So if we don't ever shut it down at 5:30, then move it from 6 to, keep the same time frame, but just
Yeah,
move
do
it
6
out.
to 8:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're never going to shut it down at 5:30. That's super early.
And then I have to request from council to close East St. Clair. Last year, I believe we had it closed from noon to 8 or 9. Do we want to do?
We left it a little bit open because we had the fire pit going and we couldn't move it because it was still
And I think
flaming.
I would like to leave that closed until like 9. If Van Dyke's gonna open at 8:30, I would like East St. Clair, but to not open until 9. But what time do you think we should?
What time are we going to have cornhole at? What time was it last year? I don't
It ended before.
know what time. I mean, what time
Yeah.
did cornhole start?
He was thinking like have it end before the parade because no one's gonna
Yeah.
really want to be playing
Idiots.
cornhole.
Yeah.
I believe it started at 1
1.
o'clock.
I think it started at 1. If he did double elimination,
I think that's what he was planning on doing because that's what everyone wanted.
he should be done by 7 then.
Yeah.
And we closed it at noon because we were setting up for. So do we want to do? Let me just double check. Do we want to do noon to 9 then?
Do we need to get any
Yeah.
permission from the council for if we wanted to allow them to cross the street with
It's a
drinks?
special event. It goes with it. It doesn't.
Okay.
We don't need special permission.
Okay,
It'll also be within the time frame already designated.
That's true.
for Saturday,
Okay, perfect.
so-
Right.
So noon to 9 o'clock PM on December 7th.
Do they have any, like, any of our road closure things have like reflectors on it, just so that we don't have any cars driving into the cornhole tournament and running over boards again?
We do, and we also got charged for additional barricades that they needed to purchase for Heritage Fest, so
So,
Yes.
okay,
we will have
enough. Okay.
so many barricades to close down East St. Clair.
Perfect.
Good question, though. After what happened last year. All right, any other thing on that subject? All right. At that point in time, we've got to go into closed session for the legal opinion from the attorney. So we're going to need a motion to move to go into closed session. Yes, sir.
Chairman, I have a recommendation.
Yeah.
What we have been doing at council in these situations is completing the regular agenda. In other words, moving on back, completing at this point in time, old business, public comments for non-agenda, board questions and comments, future agenda items. And once completed with that, then we go into closed session. Because otherwise, we have to kick everyone out, and then they can wait around and come back till after we've come out of closed session. It's very inefficient. So that's what we've been doing in council, and it's worked quite well.
I'm fine with that unless anybody else has an issue.
There isn't anything that once we come out of closed session, do we go back into open session?
You have to go back into open
Mhm.
if by chance there is a motion made
Okay.
from there. I mean, we'll have to make the motion and it is televised if people
Okay.
want to figure it out. But, or then they can obviously come back.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
All right. So any old business to discuss? Any public comment on non-agenda items? All right. Any board questions or comments?
I just have a question for the public, just to make sure everyone's signed in, that she said before. I noticed that we haven't had everyone.
Well, if not, we'll sign them in like we did last time. All right. Any other questions or comments?
I had one thing to say that I forgot. I think I only told you, Andy. I was contacted by the owner of Cruise and Media Magazine as one of 3 people to give a testimonial about the success of our car show. So, and I mean, they're not just in Michigan, they're in the whole
Country.
West area. So that's exciting, and I think it speaks volumes mostly to Wayne's success, but to how far we've come.
Super cool.
That's all I got.
Awesome. All right. Now let's get a motion to go into closed session.
I'll make motion to go into closed session at 7:58 p.m.
Supposed to do a roll call.
Yeah, I would say we need a roll
We need a
call.
second, first of all.
Yeah, we
I'll
need a
second.
Thank you. Roll call to go into closed.
Krista Booth. Steve Schneider.
Aye.
Holly Miller.
Aye.
Melissa Schneider.
Aye.
Ashlyn Glasser.
Aye.
Andy Rose.
Aye.
All right.
We're now in closed session. Unfortunately, everybody has to leave. You need your signature, you're signed? Here, bring it up. Or
Oh, sorry. Can I
anybody
get your
can
name,
sign it.
please? Yes.
And we have to close the doors. Doors are closed.
Yeah, and we got to make sure the camera's off.
And you're a high school student?
Thanks for coming, guys.